Hello, how are you today? Oh my goodness, you guys, I am so excited about this project that I started yesterday. I have to share it with you. I have been watching TikTok like crazy. It's so addicting. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. And I have such an eclectic taste in TikTok videos and YouTube videos that I get all kinds of weird recommendations come up, but some of them make total sense to me. Particularly the ones that are like makeup artists, beauty influencers. Not a lot, but there's a few that have such great personalities that I just can't help but watch. And I used to be a collector of eyeshadow and lip gloss. And one of my favorite artists, resin artists, makes her own mica pigments, and she always says that her mica pigments are like good for cosmetics. And that's Petal. She does hers is Just Paint, and I love working with these mica pigments in my resin. And so I Googled making eyeshadow with mica, and of course a bunch of YouTube videos came up, and it looks super easy. So I started doing some. I ordered a palette off of Amazon. You can get these empty palettes, different sizes, different shapes, that come with these trays. You can get round, you can get the big ones, you can get square ones, rectangular ones, whatever. There's a whole, I mean, if you've ever been on Amazon, I'm sure you know the options that are on there. So I ordered one that has 12, and I started making my own eyeshadow. Look at this. So these are all made with mica pigments. All of them except for this yellow are Just Paint. So I'll make a list of the colors that I've used and put it in my description below, but these are all Just Paint. This one is 3 different colors mixed together, but the rest of them are just one color. And this yellow here is Shiraz. So I messaged Michelle at ArtWorksResin, and I asked her, is Shiraz mica pigments cosmetic grade? And she was like, yes, it says so on the jar. Yeah, you know, I didn't look at the jar before I started asking questions, but it says right here on the Shiraz jar of mica pigments, cosmetics, personal care, etc., etc. So I'm going to show you how I do this with 2 different colors. One of them, one of my favorite colors from Just Paint, Mermaid. It's a beautiful teal. And one from Shiraz. This one I got from ArtWorksResin from her website. It's a pearlescent, and it is coral. So the videos that I found, there was 2, 3 different variations, all using the same ingredients, which are very, very simple. Isopropyl alcohol, I have 99% here, and glycerin. I have organic vegetable glycerin. So glycerin, if you don't know, is the non-fatty component of vegetable oil. It's odorless, liquid, moisture attracting, and is common ingredient used in formulating soaps, creams, and lotions. And I do believe that people actually use it in baking as well, but don't quote me on that. So I've been playing with, I tried a couple of different variations and of, you know, different ratios of isopropyl alcohol to vegetable glycerin. One lady just used the alcohol, and of course the alcohol is just going to evaporate. So I did try just the alcohol, and that is this one here. This is Oceanic Blue, and it is very, very powdery, like almost too powdery. Like it doesn't really hold together at all. And I mean, if you like powdered eyeshadow, then by all means go for it. But I find that it's just too powdery, and I didn't like just the 100% alcohol formula. The rest of these have equal parts glycerin and equal parts alcohol. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I found that they were too moist. So this has been, well, I guess it's been 48 hours. I started this a couple days ago. 48 hours, and I mean, they're not hardly powdery at all. A little bit, I guess, but they're almost kind of creamy. There's a little bit of powder there. But I think if I can figure out a formula to kind of get it halfway between being too powdery and being too creamy, that I'll be really happy with how this turns out. So I'm going to do a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 parts alcohol to 1 part glycerin. But I mean, the colors are just as nice as what comes out of the jar that the micas are in. So just to make things easier here, I'm going to use a teaspoon. And this is not, I mean, I've cleaned everything with alcohol, soap and alcohol. This is just for my own personal use, so I'm not overly concerned about, you know, having a super sterile environment. I'm not going to be selling eyeshadows. This is strictly going to be for my own enjoyment. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. So this is a half a teaspoon. So that's 1 teaspoon of alcohol, and this is a half a teaspoon of glycerin. Okay. So I'm just going to mix that together. Now these little trays don't hold a lot, so you don't need to make big quantities of that. So it's really super inexpensive to make this stuff. The most expensive part probably is the micas themselves. All right, so I've stirred that together, and I am going to just divide this in half here-ish. There we go. And I'm not going to stick that oily stick into my micas. I centered here. I'm just using these little coffee stir sticks. Now, because I got on a rant with this stuff, I started Googling other things. And you can actually also buy all kinds of bases and creams and stuff that are already pre-made, and you don't have to do anything to them but add your color. I am also a big fan of lip gloss, so wouldn't this be a pretty lip gloss color? I might have to go down that road just once. And again, you can find all of the vessels that you need on Amazon. There's you can buy the tubes, the lip gloss tubes that have the wand with the little sponge on the end. So I might have to give that a try on down the road here. So this small amount of mixture here does take quite a bit of mica for how much we're actually going to be putting into the tray here. So the shadow that is very moist, I'll probably still use it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's not powdery. This, you know, not as powdery as that one, obviously. I mean, you can see how loose it is. But it works good with a sponge too. Oops, this one is powdery actually, huh? I'm making a liar out of myself. but it works good with sponges as well as brushes. Not as accurate, I don't think, as with, I had one here that's really, I think it's this one. Yeah, so see how this one's not as, like I can feel how it's a little bit creamier. So it's not, you know, it's not the greatest, but I think it'll go on okay. And I mean, the color is just amazing. Anyway, yeah, got sidetracked there. So a person just kind of has to play around with it and get it right. I will be looking into what other mica pigments are cosmetic grade. I'm not sure I understand the whole, you know, what the difference would be between what's cosmetic and what's not. You know, if it's a case of how they're processed or what other additional chemicals or binders or whatever is in it. I have no idea. No clue what that all entails. Maybe I should ask Petra, she probably knows. So yeah, I think the biggest challenge is getting the formulation right so that the end product is the consistency that you want it to be, and that it's easy to use and, you know, stays on your face and doesn't just leave town. But I'll show you really quick how I get it pressed in. It's very technical. I'm just gonna dump this in the little tray. And there's probably better ways to do this, but this is what I found with my research on YouTube. I don't think it has to be any more complicated than this. Just spread it out. This is gonna overflow because I made too much. That's all right. So, just going to take a strip of paper towel and just kind of fold it into a little square. I saw some of the girls that made this, they used like rags or, you know, torn up t-shirts or whatever, which would probably, I mean, obviously work just as well and didn't leave the pattern or the texture from the paper towel. So I just center, I have a quarter here, it's been cleaned, just center the quarter over the tray and just kind of let the moisture come up on that paper towel. And then I'll just slowly start squeezing down so that more of the moisture comes out. And slowly just start adding a little bit more pressure. Ta-da! Just clean up the edges. If you don't want to get this all over your fingers, you can just wear gloves. I filled it a little bit too much, otherwise it doesn't make quite as much of a mess. Yeah, So if you found something else to soak up the moisture, it's not going to leave that little, the texture from the paper towel. I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. This, like I said, I'm just going to be using this for my own. And this is a magnetic tray. It has like these little finger things that you can just pull them out. And that's all it took. So the videos that I watched, the advice that I got was to wait 24 to 48 hours for like everything to kind of absorb in, for the alcohol to evaporate. I'm not entirely sure I'm completely happy with how my other ones turned out. So I'm hoping that this one with the different formula, the 2-to-1 formula, will be a happy medium. But I think it's still really good. Like the color is great. This is Kiwi from Just Paint. And it works really good with a sponge. So anyway, I'll finish up this one here. The tray on Amazon, I think, was around $18 Canadian. It was not next day delivery, so I don't know where they come from, but it took me about a week to get the tray, which is fine. But as soon as I got it, I had to start playing with it. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I thought it was kind of an exciting and different little project to do. I went into Sephora to buy some eyeshadow. I threw all of my makeup away, every single last thing, because it had been a really long time since I wore makeup. With the mask mandate and all that, I wasn't, you know, I didn't want to wear makeup under my mask and, you know, have that gooey mess to deal with under a mask. But now that we're no longer required to wear masks, it's time that I start wearing makeup again. I mean, like full makeup. I still wore eyeliner and mascara and that kind of thing, but anyway. Let me know if you've ever made your own makeup. I'd be interested to hear your story. And if you have any advice, that would definitely be interested in hearing some advice on how to improve this. The makeup that I got at Sephora was, I got a really nice big, I got all kinds of stuff all over my hands here. I got a really big palette of mostly neutral colors. And I really wanted some fun colors. I mean, wouldn't wear these colors during the day at work or anything like that. But you know, if you're going out to a concert or if you're younger, you can get away with that kind of stuff. But I'm not so young anymore, so it has to be like a concert or a clubbing or something kind of scene in order for me to justify wearing these bright colors. Personally, I mean, you do you. I personally like to wear just more daytime neutral colors at work and stuff, out in public. But if I'm going to a concert or to a club, which again has been probably more than 2 years, I might get a little bit more creative with my makeup colors. So I did notice with this glycerin, I had the tips of my fingers were really dry and, you know, kind of cracking and rough. And I noticed that that's gone away. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was the glycerin that kind of added the moisture to my skin and took that roughness away. So I think that's kind of cool. It's very oily, but I'm a neurotic hand washer, and the whole COVID thing has made that even multiplied. So my hands are always usually pretty rough from washing my hands 50 million times a day. Here we go. That's so pretty. And it's super pretty with the Costco paper towel texture in it as well. There we go. Sorry about the mess. It's been played with a few times already. So if I really wanted to, I could take this out of this tray, like put it back in one of these little containers and mix it in with the oil again and re-pour it and repress it. It would do that. I've seen a lot of people where they take like commercial eyeshadow and take it out of the tray. You can, like all of these, wherever you buy it from, they're all, you can dismantle them, clean them up, you know, reuse them and everything like that, which I would have done had I known that I could do this, or that I wanted to do this before I threw it all my old makeup. Anyway, hindsight. But yeah, you can mix and match. This one is 3 different colors. It's an Aubergine, Cotton Candy, and Sparkle Shiraz from Just Paint. So it's 3 different kinds. This is Sparkle Miner's Gold. That's why it's a sparkle mica. That's why it's so shiny. It's got bigger pieces of mica in it. But yeah, I'll leave a list of all the colors in the description below. Let me know what you think. And maybe, just maybe, I'll add a photo of yours truly with my makeup done. Maybe. Don't hold your breath. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I know I don't post very often, technical difficulties. But yeah, thanks for being here. Bye.